Welcome everybody to the Brand Exchange podcast. We are back with Mr. Hanky. I am super excited to introduce you guys to him. He's has a decades of experience in the franchising business. He's a growth director in the APAC region of your Entrepreneurs organization, aka EO. And he's the co-founder of Yellow Cab Pizza Company. And currently founder and innkeeper, very cool title by the way, of the Henry Hotels and Resorts. Hanky, welcome to the show. So excited to have you.
Thank you, Yohji, for having me. Excited as well. And I'm ready. I
love the energy today. All right, before we start, I need to shout out quickly to Mr. Raymond Rufino. Without this has not been possible. So thank you so much for one of the kindest leaders out there to introducing us and to making this happen. Yeah, I think for like you going from franchising to, I think, real estate, right, all the way to hospitality, like you have been in the people business and the people power business. So I absolutely love all that B2C segment. And I know that you love branding as much as I do. So maybe we can start a little bit in the early days and tell us how you got into the people business.
Okay, sure. I call it, my journey of entrepreneurship, right? So,
awesome.
And it started really when I was 14 years old. And,
wow.
My parents had a, apartment complex, or here in the Philippines, we call it apartel, right? So they had a 75-room apartment complex, and I saw an opportunity to actually sell bread, and that, to sell bread at a profit. So it's basically wholesale retail, right? And it's how everything started. I was able to sell bread, and I had leftover money, of course, profit, and I was able to buy what I really wanted at that time. This will age me, but these are, trump cards. I don't know if you, so, before, we'd had trump cards. This is a deck of cards, right? So and then there'd be either, about tanks or about missiles and about, we'd compete against each other, right? And in those, in those times. So I wanted trump cards so badly that, and my parents wouldn't want me to, to spend on them. I found a way to buy my own, right? And that started me in my journey of entrepreneurship.
I love it. So currently, first of all, the Henry Hotel. I'm sorry, I really wanted to go before we had this session, but life did not allow that to happen. But I'm planning to go to the Laia one very soon in Batangas. The Henry Hotel, first of all, Innkeeper, how did you come up with that very unique title that I have never heard before?
Really? Wow. For me, it befits, what we do, right? So, when you say the Henry Hotels and Resorts, basically, we try to position ourselves as, the boutique hotels and the pioneering boutique hotels and boutique resorts in the Philippines, right? The word innkeeper actually is a very old. It comes 2,000 years, right? So when Joseph and Mary was, looking for a place to stay, they approached the innkeeper, right? So it's actually not in
that's why I haven't heard it in 2,000 years,
right? So it was used 2,000 years, and now it's used again, right? So, but for me, because it best connotes, a small, property where it's very bespoke, where there, Henry, like our brand Henry, he's there. He's the gracious host, right? And that's why, for me, naming, my title is not presidency or what a chairman, all those usual things, but no, it's something different, something that, people remember, and apparently people do. Yes, right?
Yeah, I love it.
So innkeeper.
Okay. Innkeeper, yeah, maybe I need to find a more personal title than co-founder.
For you,
well.
yeah.
Can I be an innkeeper consultant? Let's see.
You can be like connector, right? I mean, like that's what you do, right? You connect brands to people, and
really came up with my next business name. I love this already, but let's talk about your name first. Why is it called the Henry Hotel?
The word Henry is very worldly, right? So Yohji, you're of mixed German and Japanese heritage, right? So I'm sure there is a German counterpart to Henry, right? Heinrich.
Henrik. Oh, no, that's Henrik. Henry. Yeah, but that definitely is. Yeah, right? I don't know which version.
So in French, it's Henri, right? In Spanish, it's Enrique. In the Scandinavian countries, it's Henrik, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Henry is actually a very worldly name, of course, English, right? I mean, the kings. It's a very worldly name, right? So I feel that it's very apt for a brand like us that welcomes, into our doors all nationality, because it is
Okay. So there's no person named Henry somewhere.
everyone. So everyone in the organization we try to inculcate these values of Henry, right? So Henry is a gracious host, right? So everyone actually in the organization is Henry, even me.
Oh, okay. So he's a fictional representation of.
He's a persona.
He's a persona. Okay.
Persona, which is also part of branding.
Right. You put the name of your persona to influence your employees and your stakeholder to take that fictional persona as a representative to welcome your customers.
Yes. And that persona is actually that persona is actually an embodiment of the values of the company.
Okay. What can you name us one of your top values of the company?
Well, I can name you 3 because our values are very simple.
Please.
It's just 3. Everyone in the organization is an embodiment of Henry, right? And Henry has 3 values. Henry has a Western mind, a Latin heart, and an Asian soul. And actually that is the embodiment of actually a Filipino. So you've been living here for 7 years, right? So all of us have Western minds. That's why we have so many call centers here, because we are attuned to the West. For us, for the Henry, it means empowerment and accountability. So Latin heart is what the Spanish left us, a passion for families, passion for our religion, passion for basketball, right? Right? I mean, we are gaga over basketball. Actually, it's NBA basketball, right? So, but for us, it means, we love what we do. We are passionate about our jobs, right? And the third, last but not least, Asian soul for us is very simple. We live in Asia, and how we define this is we do not lie, cheat, or steal.
Wow.
So everyone, we try to, I empower my people, and my hope is also they empower their people down the line.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was truly passionate. I could not wish for someone to be more enthusiastic about their own hotel. So let's.
Of course, that's what I do, Yohji.
If the world would have more passionate business leaders like you, then we would definitely be living in a better world. But okay, before we fix the world's problems, I read a statement on various parts of your sites and an online presence called "like no other." You keep repeating that phrase on the Henry Hotel channels. Can you please enlighten us about that as well?
First and foremost, Yohji, we're talking about branding, right? So the "like no other" has been actually copyrighted already by us, right? So in the Philippines, we are the only hospitality company that can use the word "right" like no other. Since we are on a branding podcast, right? So
congratulations.
So it's important, if you constantly use that word, that you own the word and it's copyrighted.
Of course.
And really, like no other for us is, well, again, it's 3s, right? So the way we define like no other is basically what we call our 3 Ps. So basically, it's guest experience through sense of place, leveraging on its people, and then celebrating the Philippines. Sense of place. All the property, if you go through our website, all our properties are very different from each other. We have no template. Mm-hmm. So what we look after, or what we try to polish, is actually the character and soul of the property, right? Be it a 1950s house, or a 1980s resort, or a 2000, a resort that was built in the 2000s. So it is basically highlighting the sense of place, the character and soul of the property. Second is leveraging on the Filipino. That's our second P, or leveraging on its people. Yohji, you've been living here for 7 years already. You know how Filipinos, in terms of service, and we have this innate knack or innate talent for hospitality, right?
Yes.
And we just leverage on that. We just, we decided that we will not hire any other nationality except for Filipino, right? Because we believe that the Philippines, the Filipinos has what it takes. And then the third one, celebrating the Philippines. And how we do this is really basically working with social and local enterprise. Social enterprises are companies that have social impact. Example are cleaning solutions. The beneficiaries are scholars. Social enterprises working with local enterprise, like our coffees. Our coffees are also local. We don't have any imported coffees, right? And all our designers are also Filipino, right? So it's really having this ecosystem of really just Filipino, right? Because we consider ourselves a Filipino company and a Filipino brand.
Awesome. Yeah, I would like to take a quick break for anyone who's listening to this. And I think like one already super important like part of this to take home today is to, if you are this passionate about a company, then really just make every corner as branded as possible, right? And not visually, but verbally and from a soul perspective, and just care about every single part as much as Hanky is caring about the cleaning solution all the way to the pillows, to the stuff, to the values and everything else. So quick summary so far, because there's so many information here that I can't recap. Let's move on to on the Henry Hotel a bit.
Yohji, can I say something instead of a visual, verbal, right? Because I believe that branding should encompass all senses. For the brand, for our hotels, it should encompass all senses. And how does that happen, right? So, example, hearing, right? So the music that we hear is apt for the property. The phraseology or verbal things that our people say are basically the same, right? Mm-hmm. When you smell, there is a scent, right? That encompasses also all property. That when you smell that scent, our hope is to say, that's the Henry, right? Everything that you see corresponds to the brand and its values, right? And everything that you touch, tactile, is also representative of brand. So, example, from the switch, right? Because we are a upmarket, upscale property, even when you touch a switch, right? It should feel basically 4-star, right? And last but not least, taste, right? So the restaurants that we have also all align to our brand. So it's really, it's all 5 senses. And I love it. I learned that in my Yellow Cab days.
Yeah, 5 senses. Yeah, I mean, a brand is not what you say it is; it's what they say it is, right? So, let's stay on the topic, because I mean, you keep mentioning the term branding, and obviously, this is a branding podcast, and this is the question that I'm asking all of our guests: is that you defined it in many ways already, but if you have a good short explanation of what branding is for you, I would absolutely love to hear it.
What branding is to me? Actually, very simple. One word: experience.
Please, yeah. Experience. Okay.
It's your experience as, in our case, as a guest, right? Mm-hmm. So how you feel, like what I said, how you feel the brand as the guest through your senses.
Right. That also means that you don't have just one brand, but you have millions of brands, because every single person has a different experience and therefore has their unique brand understanding and imagination in their head, right?
Yeah, but yes, that is for other brands, right? But for us, we want people to, when they see us, or when they think of us, the idea is, okay, so this is the Henry. We try to own, basically what I say is we try to own words, right, in the mind of the consumer.
Right. Like, this is all so powerful. I mean, I've been studying branding for the last 10 years and like made it my business. You had many different career paths and still obtained the same level of brand understanding that I have, or maybe even better from what I understand right now. Is that when was the first time that all of this started to make sense? Because obviously most of the people don't have that understanding that you have, that every single part comes together, and that's what built that experience, aka brand, in people's minds. So when was that click moment? When was the epiphany?
I'd like to say it's a journey. When we learn, it's really, it piles on top. It goes on top of each other, right? So it's not just one aha moment. But my first aha moment about branding was in college. So again, I'm quite the entrepreneurial kind. So when I had my first partner, and what we did was we sold the shorts in the what we call the quadrangle of the college, of the school, right?
Okay.
It's a shorts, like it was athletic shorts, right? And then basically we were both part of an organization, an international organization, right? And we said, why don't we print that logo on those shirts and sell them? I'm sure they'd sell that like hotcakes, right? Well, it was selling. But what came along with that was also, the national organization. We were part of a school, right? So the national organization went to us and talked to us and said, you cannot use that logo because that is trademark. So you have to ask permission to use that. And you have to pay royalty if you need to use that. And that was the moment it clicked for me that, oh my gosh, the power of a brand. So we stopped. I mean, we sold all the shorts and stopped, right? And then I created so that was my journey. I created now my own brand in college called, it's called Big Hank, made to order shirts. And I even had my little calling card with my little logo, right? So that was the first moment it clicked with me that branding is powerful.
That someone else in the background for not doing anything still made money of you selling shirts in college.
So, yes, so selling shorts first, right? I mean, they didn't earn money from me, but if I continued doing that, they would earn money from me, right? So it's like, ooh.
Someone is working smarter, not harder there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, I had that experience as well. Yeah, I mean, logo design, definitely the career starter. I did understand, meanwhile, that you have to have a little bit more than just a logo to have a successful company these days, right?
Branding is not logo. Branding is not logo.
Yeah.
Part of it is logo, but it's not logo.
Small part, yeah.
Yeah, it's a small part.
Yeah, I think that the times where you can build a property, put a logo on it, and then run a TV ad and expect your guests to flow in, I think are long over.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, for sure. I have so many things I wanted to talk with you about hotels, because I find that so interesting, because it's a service industry and a product industry at the same time. And I think the entire experience just needs to be so unique these days and so well thought through to really stand out from the crowd and not just be one of the list items in booking.com or or whatever it is these days. What are one of the hotels besides the Henry Hotel that you think is doing a good job in terms of creating a brand, creating something authentic, wholesome that people can, enter into a new world?
Oh, good question. What other hotel is doing a good job in terms of branding? Okay, so there is this other chain in the Philippines. It's called it's called One Off Collection. Right?
Okay, never heard.
One Off Collection. Okay, because that's the name of their their collection, right? But they're better known as Amorita in Bohol and Funny Lion in terms of in other locations like Coron and El Nido. See, I'm plugging for them. I should send this to her. I send this to the owners, right? And for me,
we will afterwards. Don't worry.
We should, right? Yeah. So, and for me, they're also doing a good job in terms of branding, right? Okay. But they are doing it a bit different than us because their ethos is also a bit different from us, right? Mm-hmm. But so far, I'm happy that there are others who are doing what we do.
Yeah,
because it's a lonely road.
I can imagine where I was that much passion on it. Yeah, let's go back to the Henry Hotel. That's all right. So you talked about that you have your values and that you have the like no other kind of spirit and mindset in that like every Henry Hotel should basically provide an entirely new experience. So how, besides your name and the font that you written your logo in, how do you keep your customers in the knowledge of that you're still inside the Henry universe?
When they're in the hotel?
I mean, do all Henry hotels are called Henry Hotel?
Yes. So all the Henry hotels are called Henry Hotel. So it's in the difference there is just the locator name, right? So it can be called, the Henry Hotel Roost Bacolod. It can be the Henry Manila, or our upcoming, which is, let's say, the Henry Boracay. So all of it is the Henry. So there is this basic commonality in terms of the name, because in the end, you get to expect certain things also, right? In terms of
Yes.
service, right? But the look is very different from each other.
So what other commonalities does the brand have besides the name and the
So
logo?
okay, so it's basically the service, the soft. There's the hardware and then the software, right? So the hardware is very different from each other because of the sense of place, our singular, our focus on sense of place, right? But the software or the service is all the same because again, we try to make everyone a Henry. We try to make everyone a gracious host. But everyone has the values that I mentioned a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's the commonality. Even though you are either in Manila or you're in the south, in Bacolod or Dumaguete.
Again, I would like to recap this a little bit for our listeners today, and I think service can be a brand element, right? And I think I am very excited. I mean, I'm even more excited to visit Henrietta right now because I want to experience it. But you can have a very simple logo, a simple name, or other things, but imagine you build a hotel where you've been re-recognized just by the service, just by that feeling you enter the door, and people say like, yeah, you want that experience? Yeah, just if you go to the Philippines, just go to one of the Henry hotels because that's where you get it. Right? That's word of mouth. That's powerful. I mean, that's the absolute highest tier of word of mouth that you can get.
So Yohji, just to further move this along, it's really we have another what we call phraseology, right? It's called welcome home. So we use that on basically all our staff. When new staff come on board, we say welcome home, right? And we also use that on our guests, right? Welcome home as well. Right? So where you are not a number, you are not room 102, but you are, Mr. Kanki, right? That's basically who we are.
Yeah, everything is so personalized that I don't feel like that as long as your words can keep up the promise of the actual service quality, that you will not have guests that say, oh yeah, the beach was nice, but it was just another hotel or something like that, right? It's really something memorable that you can draw back to. So yeah, I'm experiencing for myself right now small epiphanies of what I can maybe change in what other people just take as boring channels like an email or something. How can I make these things more memorable to our customers so I can stay longer in business? There's a company I want to tell you about. It's called Poppins. And they have like all they do is they sell office wear like staplers, pen holders, and stuff like that. But there are thousands of companies who do that worldwide, right? So how can you differentiate as a company like this? And the key idea that they thought of as a brand was, first of all, we are going to offer office wear in 40,000 different colors. So if Hanky likes everything in dark gray and white, then he should be able to get a stapler, a pen holder, an actual pen, a laptop holder, I don't know, coffee machine, maybe, I don't know, all in this specific tone of gray or in this specific tone of pink and green. So that's number one, how they stand out, that every single person in the world deserves to represent themselves inside the office with their unique color that fits their personality. Number one. And then number two, and that's the reason I mention it, is that the service and the communication, they have absolutely killed it with just being so passionate about something that is so simple, like a stapler or like a pen that you buy for like $2, right? But the emails that they send you when you buy something are just so incredibly passionate. Just like, because usually it's like a simple tracking order, like, yeah, your order has been received, package will come, yeah, you're going to delete that email anyways. But with them, they do it like, we are getting your pop-in stuff created at this moment. Like our fairies are like flying their wings to get your pen as soon as possible to your colorful new castle in your office. Like, I'm not the best one with words, but yeah, just have to imagine that, like how much effort they put in just a simple tracking order message, right? I think can go such a long way if you're talking about putting service as a primary branding element. I want to talk about one of your other very interesting titles, and that is the Growth Director at the Entrepreneurs Organization. Can you give us a very short intro of what the Entrepreneurs Organization, aka EO, is?
Wow, EO is an amazing organization. It's a peer to peer network of entrepreneurs, all over the world. Like we have about more than 15,000 now, and in the Philippines we have about 200, about 280 spread across two chapters now. It's called Philippines and Philippines South. And again, we talked about we're talking about values, and so basically every EO member or every entrepreneurs organization member has basically 4 values, right? So, and the 4 values are thirst for learning. It's us wanting to learn all the time and being open to learning. And second one is thinking big and be bold, right? So being, as entrepreneurs, just like me, I never knew anything about hospitality, and I took a leap of faith, right? And then together we grow, as because we're peer to peer. So it's together, we can achieve greater things. And last but not the least is it's called trust and respect, right? So we are a diverse organization, and we have all our own opinions. It's being able to basically respect each other.
Is this organization open for everyone, or how does it?
So there are minimum qualifications. So you have to be the entrepreneur. You either majority shareholder. You actively control, and $1 million in minimum, $1 million in revenue. That's it.
Okay.
And you should exhibit those values, the ones that I just mentioned.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, I mean, learning together, I think for me, learning by doing is the biggest part for me that I always speak for, because I think there are things that you can learn in books, but the soft skills and everything else, you have to just go into the field and get dirty.
Learn by doing, which is actually for me. So there are other people, there are other entrepreneurs who learn via reading, right? I learn via doing.
Yeah,
that's how I learn.
Yeah, I want to definitely want to have 500 other hours with you to discuss that. Let's still move on, so we cover one of the last topics I also am really passionate about, and that's leadership. And I think you talking so passionately just to me about certain details and elements about your Henry brand, like how do you make sure that this incredible spirit and passion of yourself reflects on your management team or even your whole employees?
Easy. It's called clarity. So in what I understood in every organization is there are 2 types of entrepreneurs. One is the visionary, and then the other one is the integrator. And I just in the past 4 years I realized that I'm not an integrator. Meaning an integrator is the one who's lives in the present, day-to-day details. I realized I was the visionary, right? That I lived in the future. I always thought of what could be, like where could we go, right? And to be able to embrace that.
Okay.
But you have to communicate that also, right? So that's where clarity comes in. That you have to be clear. There should be clarity in terms of your vision.
Mm-hmm. So could you give maybe someone who is a visionary like you and me, and a few tips of how clarity could be achieved a little better? Like maybe what do you do? Do you have a weekly schedule, or like, I don't know, value meetings quarterly to like make sure everyone is still on the same page? Anything like that?
Yes, I do that. So what happened just a few days ago, we opened our property in Bacolod, right? So I make it, my HR manager knows this, I make it a point that I do the vision, mission, values of the company to our new employees. And I do that to each and every employee that we have. I do not, that's the only thing I do not devolve to my HR manager or to my COO. I do that myself.
Okay, I can see how that will definitely work to kickstart the career on the right foot and just to get them as excited as you are. What about keeping
To
consistency?
set the stage, right? To show them, okay, this is who we are, and this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very, very important. And I just want to talk about consistency for a second because I think that's where many people maybe not lack on vision and like opening the doors to that, but then just like keeping that quality alive. So how do you keep the consistent and the quality of the service alive?
Communication down the line. I mean, that's our job as the leaders, right? Is to communicate, over communicate, actually.
Hmm.
And for us is to to pin down, not pin down, but to ensure that our values, the vision, mission, and values is understood by each and everyone in the company.
Awesome.
That's how you empower them, right? As long as there's clarity of vision, what I say, as long as there's clarity of vision, they know what the company stands for, in terms of what they can do, and they already know, so they can run with it.
Yeah. So in Hanky's words, you have to be present at least once in the beginning. You have to have clarity and over communicating that clarity towards your vision so everyone can make the same judgment as the passionate leader. Did I
Yes.
sum that up correctly?
Yes. So that's how you align them, right? Align them with the brand and align them in terms of what you do. So if I can just share, right, our vision is actually very simple. It's like to redefine and elevate Philippine hospitality. And because we are very clear in terms of what we want to do, in terms of our vision, the type of people who we get, oh my gosh, they ascribe to that vision. They believe in that vision.
So, yeah, I guess that's the hiring position that you want to get into or that every company wants to be in.
Clarity. I did not learn that. It came from a mentor of mine. Clarity of vision came
Okay.
from, his name is Warren Rustan. I learned that.
Maybe we saved some businesses today. Just please over communicate and be there and see what a strong personal brand can reflect to your company brand and how then having a company brand will solve so many of your problems, including hiring. It's also perfect, Hank. Yeah, maybe I need to hire you. Maybe be one of our brand consultants. Yeah, we can help more companies together.
I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah, there are many
Cool.
companies here that need our help. Yeah.
There are many,
Anyways,
but yeah, there
yeah.
are many.
I know this is the attention span for most listeners. So I have one parking lot question that I am personally very interested in. And maybe some of the local listeners here in the Philippines are also excited to hear about that. But like yellow cab pizza. So can you give us a 2 minute story of like how did that happen and how did you guys exit that entire thing?
Wow, it's like more than an elevator pitch, right? Okay, so it's a little longer than an elevator pitch. Yeah, but that was an amazing journey where I learned a lot, right? So it came from three. I was a co-founder, so it came from three partners really who wanted something different from what they were currently doing at that time, which were franchisees of another brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting together and building a brand out of in the garage. Actually, it's in our garage, right? Scraping along, buying old stuff because we could not afford new stuff, new ovens, and really the power that my if there's only one key takeaway of Yellow Cab,
Okay.
it's like Filipinos can create world class brands. That's my takeaway.
Oh, for
Again, sorry, it's about
sure.
branding, but that's
No, no, no,
that's my
please.
key takeaway. That as Filipinos, sometimes we feel that we are not worthy, or in the scheme of things, we are nothing. But we are able to do great things as a people, right? And I'm proud to be able to say that we created a world class brand, which until today is alive and strong.
I have no doubts about that, Hanky, really. I mean, I met amazing people here, and there are so many great things coming to the country. I think with the English speaking skills being the entry door for many opportunities and then being fueled by Asian. Help me out. I'm
Asian
embarrassing
soul,
myself on
Asian
my podcast.
soul,
Yeah, myself. Asian soul.
Asian soul,
Yes. And my worldly mind. Yeah.
Western mind.
A Western mind. Sorry. Yeah. No, but I think that's very true. And I see specifically with, the Web3 world, many local companies coming up, many new winners, hopefully arising from that industry as well, and whatever else is coming. But yeah, I mean, boutique hotels, I've stayed in many as well, that I absolutely loved and remembered. And I hope more people will follow your passion and make all my future stays as memorable as my future stay at the Henry Hotel.
Because the country
All
needs
right.
more of us.
Yes. We need more passionate business leaders, everyone. Please join us in our secret club and my future EO chapter. I never had such a passionate business leader on the call. I would, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for sharing it to us. I hope we inspired some people out there. I would love to have you back in a year or so, get an update on the Henry Hotel and everything else that's happening. But for now, thank you so much.
I'm grateful, Yohji, for considering me and inviting me to be part of the show.
All right. Bye.